Bears kicked off 2020 with an impressive victory over the London Broncos at the Butts Park Arena on Friday night, and we've got all the reaction and analysis for you on this episode. Welcome to the official Coventry Bears podcast. Welcome to Bear Necessities. Hello and welcome to Bear Necessities, the official Coventry Bears podcast. You'll find us every week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts and at coventrybears.com. I'm one of your hosts, Dave Musson, and with me as always is my co-host and former Bears fullback, Craig Cathcart. Craig, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm a very happy Bears fan. I think I spent a large part of yesterday slightly hungover after overindulging in the celebratory drinks afterwards. But yeah, it was a good night, really good night on Friday. I really enjoyed it.
It really was a good night, and we will relive some of that for you over the course of this episode and dip into it. But before we get stuck into tackling the Bears' victory over the London Broncos, Craig, we're recording this at the end of the first weekend of this year's Challenge Cup, and you've spotted some Midlands success in that first round of results, haven't you? So I know you wanted to shout out somebody in particular. So over to you as our Challenge Cup reporter.
Yeah. So Sherwood Wolf Hunt got the win today in the first round of the Challenge Cup. There was two Midlands teams, Sherwood, Wolf Hunt, and Bedford, in the draw. Bedford unfortunately lost to one of Bears' old opponents, Dissington. But yeah, Sherwood Wolf Hunt beat West Tigers today. Apparently there was a big crowd there as well today, 400 plus to watch the game. So that's quite a really good achievement. I think it's been a long time since a Midlands amateur team has managed to progress, and I just think it'd be amazing if they could get through the next round and potentially draw the Bears. That would be a cracking game, wouldn't it?
It would be absolutely amazing. Imagine the profile for Midlands Rugby League. So well done to Sherwood, and fingers crossed for round two, definitely.
Yeah, and I think it, by all accounts, was a fantastic game. It was 26-24, and I think they scored in the last minute to win the game. So it would have been a great one to go and watch today. I'm a bit disappointed, actually. I didn't make the trek across to watch it.
Yeah, that's the magic of the cup, definitely. Cool. So coming up on this week's show then, as I mentioned, we've got the analysis of last Friday's 22-14 victory against the London Broncos reserves at the Butts Park Arena, and that will include hearing from the Bears Director of Rugby, Alan Robinson, and we'll look ahead to this Sunday's final pre-season match, which is a game away to the Keighley Cougars. But first then, let's run through the story of Friday's game, which was watched by a lively 453 fans at the Butts Park Arena. Now, the Bears had a matchday squad of 21 players, which is, for any new listeners, that's not usual for a rugby league match, but it is a pre-season game, so there was a chance to try out a few fringe players. Around half of that squad were new signings, and it was also the first outing for the Bears on a new 4G pitch. All factors you might have thought could hamper the Bears, and yet it didn't. The team looked really well drilled, really fit. They played for each other pretty much the entire 80 minutes, and they scored 4 tries to win the game. All of the tries came from new signings as well. Ryan Langton opened the scoring early on from close range after the Bears had forced the Broncos' error to win a scrum a few metres out, and Brad Clavering converted. And Langton was key again for the second try. He made a really neat break and beautifully offloaded to Chris Cullymore, who scored under the sticks. Clavering's conversion made it 12-0, and the Bears scored again right before half-time. This one came from a Broncos error. Broncos fumbled the ball on halfway, and our new halfback, Kieran Smith, kicked it on, dribbled the length of the pitch and scored in the corner. That made it 16-0 at half-time. Very well deserved and very well received by the crowd. Second half, there was a slight wobble from the Bears for about a 10-minute period where the Broncos scored 3 tries in quick succession to pull it back to 16-14. But from the restart after that third London try, the Bears bagged the match-winning try. Clavering's high kick was spilled by the Broncos defender about 20 metres out from his own line, and there waiting was Cullymore, who kicked through, dive on the ball to score. Clavering added the extras. That made it 22-14 to the Bears, and that's how it remained until the end. So we will give you our take on the match in a moment, but first, here's what Bears Director of Rugby Alan Robinson had to say after the match. Well, Alan, great start to the new campaign. A win against the Broncos. Obviously, there are going to be some bits that you want to work on the training ground, but overall, you must be pleased with what you've seen tonight.
The Broncos side tonight, their reserve grade, I've got a big year ahead as well. They're really young, really enthusiastic, really, really fit. And I think for us at this time of year, to be able to keep up with them, to match their energy, to match their enthusiasm, was a real positive. There was some, untidy parts of the game, but I think in general, we have a lot to take from it.
And one of the things you've been really passionate about in this off-season is implementing this set of values that you want the players and the club to buy into. And it really seemed like it was having an effect tonight. That team, considering how new it is, they really look like a unit that has gelled in the off-season. They were playing through each other, they were working for each other. Are you pleased with how those values are already seeping into the team?
Yeah, that's where it's pleasing. Having that, instilling a culture is something that you can't just sort of force on people. But I think the fact that the boys have been working really hard as a group, that we've got the great facilities that they've been training at, and everyone's been putting the hours in. And yeah, that definitely has shown tonight, and I think that's again, a massive positive for us to take forward into next week when we look ahead to Keighley up there.
I know it's always difficult to ask a head coach to sort of pick out individuals on the night. I mean, for what it's worth, from my point of view, I thought Ryan Langton looked excellent. Chris Cullymore bagged a couple of tries. Brad Clavering, we knew about him a little bit. All sort of making standout debuts, really. Was there anyone who caught your eye in particular that you want to sing the praises of?
Yeah, I thought Darius Hamilton was outstanding. He's just come back from Iraq. He's worked. Been over there obviously with the Army, and he's been in the Corps and played with the Army Rugby League, and I really liked his attitude, and he's been a great guy, and he's trained the house down the last sort of week and a half. So I thought he deserved an opportunity tonight, and he didn't disappoint. I thought he was really physical, really fit, didn't look out of place at all, and I think it could be a real find for us. Other than that, I thought it was good to see Will Tully have a solid game. Leon Harbour impressed me with his run-in and his commitment, and again, his attitude. A few of the older heads too, Harry Kaufman always gives everything. So it was good to see. It was good to see everyone really want to get playing again, and a part of that culture is that sort of enjoying it. And I think I said to them tonight, let's go out there, let's enjoy it as well. Let's make sure we're not letting ourselves down, and certainly didn't do that.
So you mentioned on to another game next weekend, Keighley. That's going to be a tough test, but a good test in the build-up to the season. What are your thoughts now, having seen the team play tonight? Are you likely to change it up much next week, or will it be a similar bunch of players going up to Keighley?
I think the way we've looked at it is that we've picked the team that best deserved to play tonight off the work that they've done, rather than necessarily picking it for who we're playing. Next week it'll be different. It'll be much more physical. I think really we need to assess where we are. We've had a couple of little niggles tonight. A few people pulled up a bit, with a couple of little injuries. Not saying that that's widespread, but we need to look at that. And I think the team will probably be a bit smaller. It won't be as big a squad as we had tonight. And again, I think that's probably a good thing, because it was quite difficult to manage at times tonight with sort of 20 odd players. But we'll assess where we are this week and focus on Keighley next week, and then keep working hard. I think there's probably still about another 5 weeks or so of pre-season, really.
And lastly, a good crowd tonight. People of Coventry clearly wanted to see you back on the Butts pitch and enjoy a night under the lights to kick off their weekend. What would you say to anyone who has come down to the Broncos game, particularly who maybe just took a chance on coming to watch the Bears for the first time? What would you say is like a key reason for them to come back when the league season starts proper in a few weeks and stick with us throughout 2020?
I think the fact that we're right in the heart of the city here. You know, the pitch is fantastic. If people believe in us and get behind us, you know, we'll repay them with that hard work, and they'll see that on the field. And I think more so, it's a great opportunity being able to come down in the summer when the weather's nice, bring your kids along, you know, and I think it's a great opportunity for someone to come and watch a different sport. You know, we're a community. We've got a lot of community values based on what we're trying to do, and you know, it's all about, you know, people want to see a team that's representing the city on a national level and it's working really hard. And I think we can fit the bill there, and we wouldn't let people down.
Fantastic stuff. Great stuff getting the win tonight, Alan. I'm looking forward to chatting to you all season, and see you soon.
Thanks, Dave.
Help out the Bears even more in 2020 by joining the free Our League app. Not only will you get access to great news and content from across Rugby League all week, that's League One, Championship, Super League, the Women's Super League, PDRL and the international scene, you'll also find matches live streamed every weekend, podcasts, competitions, games and more. And even better, you can select the Coventry Bears as your chosen team to proudly show off your support for our club. We'd also really appreciate it if you did select the Bears as your team, as there's a chance that some of our funding could be dependent on how many registered fans we have on our league in the future. So, the more the merrier. Join now for free by searching for the Our League app in your app store or by visiting membership.rugby-league.com. So huge thanks to Bears Director of Rugby Alan Robinson for joining us after the game, and congratulations to him and his squad for bagging that first win. Now, Craig and I are going to get into our analysis of the game in a moment, but we're trying out something a little different for this new season, and if this works in this episode, we're probably going to keep with this format for the rest of the year. So let me explain. We're going to pick, instead of just rambling about the game until we run out of things to say, we're going to pick 5 topics from Friday's game, and we're going to talk about each topic for a maximum of 3 minutes. And I'm going to be keeping a timer to keep us in check. So that way we try and cover a lot and we don't ramble too much. Okay, this is our first time doing it, so it might not be as smooth as it will be in a few weeks. But anyway, our 5 topics from Friday's game are the Bears' defence, the squad spirit and togetherness, the atmosphere and the good feeling at the Butts Park Arena, the sheer awesomeness of our new kit, and we'll pick our standout players. So, Craig, how are you feeling? Are you ready to give this a go?
I'm ready. Yes, carry on.
Okay, so here we go then. 3 minutes on the Bears' defence. We'll start that now, and I will kick this off by saying just, wow, they were terrific. They were really organised in defence, really hard hitting, disciplined. I thought they worked really hard around the ruck, and save for that wobble where the Broncos scored back-to-back tries, I thought they looked really solid in defence. And to be honest, I don't have much more to say. I should have said we will be talking for a maximum of 3 minutes. We don't necessarily need to use the 3 minutes. I'm rambling now. I'm breaking my own rules. Craig, talk about the Bears' defence from Friday night.
I thought it was excellent. I think they tackled in 3s and 4s at times. There was times when Broncos players got unceremoniously dumped on their backsides and pushed backwards. I think there was a bit of a size difference. The Bears were a bigger side than a young Broncos side. So I think doesn't tell us everything, but it looked very, very good from where I was sitting. I thought the defence was certainly a notch up from some of the games that we saw towards the tail end of last year. We've got some real size and some real aggression in there as well, which was great to see. And as you said, a bit of a wobble in the at the start of the second half. A couple of missed tackles really that Broncos in, and they had a lot of pace out wide. Some things to think about there, but you can't have a perfect game every time, and I'm sure the Bears will look at the video and think about where the mistakes happened at the beginning of the second half and put things right for the next game.
Exactly, and this was the first run out of the season as well, and I thought given that in mind and such a new team, I mean, I said to you during the game, one thing I noticed was just how hard they were working to shift along the defensive line. So they were splitting the workload. It wasn't the same people tackling again and again and again. They did look really well drilled, and I was very impressed with that. There's clearly been a lot of hard work going on in the off season, and yeah, I think I'm excited. I'm pretty confident about them defensively going forwards. If that's their starting point,
really good defensive line throughout most of the game. Lots of talk in defence as well, which being honest is something that was absent towards the tail end of last year. It was great to see people talking to each other, encouraging each other, people working together. When someone made a tackle, someone else was in to wrap up the ball and everything else. It looked really fantastic. I was really impressed.
And none of the new players seemed shy in getting involved in that talking either, did they? There was no hierarchy there. Everyone was working together. Everyone was working for each other, and they did a really good job. And as you say, there was a discrepancy physicality wise, but really good starting point, I thought.
Yeah. Considering it's the first. I mean, we had a game before Christmas.
There we go. There's our 3 minutes.
Yeah. You didn't tell me that was going to happen.
I can't turn it off. There we go. Cool. Yeah. Well, I did say there was a timer running. So yeah. Good. That was good. That felt longer than I thought it would. Okay. Right. We've done one topic. We've done the defence. We're going to go on to the squad's spirit and the togetherness. And Craig, you're going to start this one. So 3 minutes starting now.
Really, it follows on from what I was saying just now about the talk. It was so obvious there was a lot of talk going on, lots of people encouraging each other. Broncos were forced into a number of mistakes by the Bears, mainly by the Bears being in their faces and getting stuck in. And it was great to see everyone patting each other on the back, players congratulating each other when they made some good play. A lot of leaders on the pitch. I think it was really obvious that there was a lot of leaders. Well, everyone working together. No one trying to take any glory, or not the same players necessarily always wanting to take the ball. There's lots of people putting their hand up to take it, and real good support. It was really obvious that there is a good togetherness in this squad. You could really see it, considering, as I said, it's still relatively early. We've got a month to go before the start of the season. To see the squad to have blended together and bonded so well was really, really good.
And you mentioned the whole high-fiving and backslapping and stuff. I mean, there was a point, I don't know if you remember, in the second half where the Bears forced an error and got the scrum and were celebrating it so much that the referee deemed it unsporting behaviour and overturned it and gave the penalty to the Broncos, which I thought was a bit harsh for a pre-season game. But again, that perhaps slight over-exuberance in that particular occasion. But it was really great to see those guys who have come together in this off-season, doing it together on the pitch for the first time, being so committed in a pre-season game that they were winning at that point and there wasn't that long left. They still really cared, and there was a real buzz about them. They wanted to force the errors. They wanted to win the ball back. And then on the flip side, in attack, I mean, the second try the Bears scored, where Ryan Langton offloaded it to Chris Cullimore, it was a great offload from Langton, but the support play from Cullimore was brilliant. And there was so many instances where, Bears made a break and there was a player on their shoulder, and that was really pleasing to see as well, wasn't it? Just that excitement and that desire to get forward and do the right thing for the team.
Yeah, and the scramble defence as well was excellent throughout, which suggests it's a team that want to work hard and want to work together. No fingers being pointed when mistakes were made, just encouragement, which was really good to see. The fans love to see that. You don't want to be stood on the sideline and seeing, your team getting rolled over and the no talk, no chat, no encouragement for each other. They were all fighting for each other, and that's really, really good to see.
Yeah, and even the multitude of interchanges didn't affect the team spirit either. Everyone had bought into the same thing and knew what they were doing. So all in all, very good. And look at that. Boom. Perfect. We're getting good at this, Craig, and this is only the second one. So, hey, let's see how we get on. So, topic number 3, the atmosphere, the crowd, the general vibe at being back at the Butts. I'll start this one off, and I'll start it now. We talked last week about how great it was to be back at the Butts for this season and the 2 seasons after it. We know that the Bears fans love a game under the Friday night lights, and last Friday night showed that. I think previous 2 years we've had the big name of Leeds Rhinos, and with all respect to London Broncos, a London Broncos reserve team is much less of a draw than a Leeds Rhinos team, and yet the fans turned up. It was a really good crowd. It was a really loud crowd, really lots of positive support for the team.
Yeah.
The pitch looks absolutely fantastic, and I think, as we talked about last week, a couple more games on that pitch when we know the nuances of it a bit better and can judge kicks and that a bit better. I think we're going to have some really great moments in Coventry this year, and I think hopefully the people who took a punt on the Bears on Friday night will have seen enough in their performance and their togetherness to think, yep, we'll come down to the Rochdale game at the start of the season and see what it's all about when there's something meaningful on the line. Craig, how did you enjoy Friday? I know you were in the hospitality. What was going on in there?
Yeah, so I went into the hospitality. That was in I can't remember the name of the suite now. I think it's the Miller Chip Suite. I think that's what it's called. It's but yeah, it was in there. It was quite busy actually. There was I think there was about 6-7 tables, all full. Nice atmosphere in there, nice buzz. I was sat with a few other Bears fans who were part of the Bears supporters club. There was various people from the sponsor, some of the Bears sponsors, and other people, other fans as well. It was a real nice atmosphere. There was an interview with Al beforehand. Michael Shires talked about the season ahead. There was an interview with Debbie as well. And an interview with GoCV, who had done a deal, obviously, in relation to the game, where if you have a GoCV card, you can get in for a £5. I think there's going to be further stuff happening throughout the season in relation to that. So, yeah, it was really good, a really positive, nice vibe. In terms of watching the game, I thought it was fantastic to get over 450 people watching a pre-season friendly. That's up there with some of the crowds that I've seen for other games around the country. So, that's a fantastic attendance, and if hopefully it's a good indicator of what's ahead in terms of attendances this season. Hopefully we'll see attendances go from strength to strength. I think one thing that a lot of people said, they were very glad to be back at the Butts. It feels right, feels like the right place for the Bears to be playing. And yeah, as you said, the crowd is really loud.
Perfect. No, perfect. Nothing more needs to be said on that. Okay, so on to our fourth topic of discussion, and that is the new kit. I'll start again on this. So new kit, go. We definitely don't need 3 minutes on this one, but we might end up stretching it to 3 minutes anyway. Depends how much we want to just gabble over how good the new kit is. But I just wanted to include it because, wow, seeing it in the flesh on the pitch, that black and white kit looks so good. We know that Alan is an incredible shirt designer, and the shirt is a really classy design this year. The V and the nod to two-tone on the sleeves, the black and white, everything looks great. The white shorts really set it off perfectly. I think anyone listening who saw the game on Friday and has seen how nice it is, who hasn't gone and ordered one already from the link on CoventryBears.com, definitely go and do that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say, and we've still got 2 minutes left to talk about this. So, Craig, don't feel the need to talk for 2 minutes if you don't want to, but just your thoughts on how nice the kit looks.
No, the kit is fantastic, and actually it was a topic of conversation on lots of people's lips on Friday about how nice it looks and about how they put their orders in. I had a couple of guys that don't come to many games who hadn't seen the new kit who commented how amazing it looked. It's really, really good. I think the white shorts definitely make it stand out. I think the problem with white shorts normally is if you're on a muddy pitch, then those shorts don't stay white for very long. But obviously on the new pitch, it's fantastic. It looked really, really good. It's a really professional looking kit.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll be wearing the blue kit away to Keighley this weekend because that's usually a muddy pitch.
Yeah, but it looks fantastic, and I didn't see many people wearing them. I saw one or two. I'm guessing people haven't had their put their orders in yet, but definitely go ahead and order that kit. I think another thing a few people asked me was what's the difference between the light kit and the replica one. I've ordered both. I ordered one which was the replica kit and one which was the lighter version. And the lighter one looks exactly the same. It's just like a football style jersey. Mm-hmm. I like both. I mean, obviously the replica kit is going to probably be a bit harder wearing and everything, but in terms of wearing shirts in the summer, I think the lighter one's the way to go if you're going to wear it a lot over the summer period. So yeah, it's a really fantastic kit. Hats off to Alan for his design on that, and to Scorpion for pulling it all together.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, great. 30 seconds to spare. That was good. And lastly then, we're going to do a quick run through, 3 minutes, so it's going to be quick, of our standout players. And to give you a sneak behind the curtain, listener, I've shared my picks with Craig ahead of recording, so unless he's just going to copy me, I'm assuming we're going to be talking about different people over the course of this 3 minutes. So I'll start the timer now. 4 players for me who I wanted to mention. I thought Ryan Langton was exceptional. Pace, power, lots of guile in attack. Nathan Hill at fullback looks a real threat too. I really like his low centre of gravity, lots of aggression in attack, and I think if he gets running in open space, he's going to be a real threat. Really impressed with Darius Hamilton, bit of an unknown for most of us watching, and he really was fantastic. Couldn't fault his performance, and I think he could be a real find this year. And finally, my man, the guy I shouted out on the show last week, Tyler Chant, he ended up covering a bunch of positions across the back line during the game. I thought he did brilliantly throughout. He got a lot of game time in the end because there were a couple of knocks picked up here and there, so he stayed on the pitch probably for longer than he might have been expecting. Did brilliantly. He has fantastic hair. I'm happy. Craig, over to you.
Yeah, firstly, Brad Clavering, he's an absolute giant of a man, and surprisingly, which was I think a surprise to a lot of people, he's also a goal kicker. So I think we've got our own Andy Farrell in the Bears lineup now. He was a leader as well on the pitch. You could see him organising people, talking to people. I thought it was an excellent debut from him. Chris Collymore, got to mention him, 2 tries on his debut, looked really lively, picked it up and ran a lot as well, which I really like to see. He was team captain on the night, and he's clearly a leader on the pitch. On this sort of evidence, he looks fantastic. Will Budd, this guy,
yes.
If you think Brad Clavering's big, this guy is an absolute giant, and he looks like he's been chiselled out of stone. He's absolutely massive. There was 2 fans sat in front of me, and Will Budd walked past, and they both sort of turned around with their jaws hitting the floor going, look at the size of him. So he did really well as well on the pitch. He ran it in really well. He looks really strong. He looks really fit. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes this season. And then I've got to give a mention to one of last year's players, Reece Rance. I think Reece looked really fit and really strong. He did well under high balls when he was asked, when he was needed to be depended on. He carried well as well out of the Bears' own line, and he made a couple of half breaks. One which I think he got ankle tapped, but he would have been away basically. I thought he was excellent. Those guys all did really well. There's probably others, in the team as well that I could pick out, who all looked really solid. So yeah, really all in all, a really good start. And a lot of the new players look really, really promising.
14 seconds to spare. There we go. We did it. We got through our 5 topics, 3 minutes on each. Listener, what did you think of that style of analysis? Do let us know via the Bears social media accounts. Craig, I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was pretty focused and concise. I think
stops me rambling. So that's good.
You never ramble, Craig. It's just, it adds an element of jeopardy to it, which is fun for all of us involved. I think you'll agree. So yeah, we'll definitely give that a couple more goes and see how we get on. The idea, of course, will be that we'll pick 5 different topics each game, depending on what has happened in the game. Although I imagine that we will end with picking our favourite players for each one, certainly for the games we've seen in person. That seems an appropriate time to do it. But yeah, good stuff. Make sure you don't miss a single try, tackle, pass, kick or gut-busting run of the Bears 2020 season. Order your season ticket now. Membership includes access to all 10 of our home Betfred League One games this year at the Butts Park Arena, as well as access to our members bar. Season tickets are just £125 for adults, £110 for concessions, £50 for 12 to 16 year olds, while under 12s get in free when accompanied by an adult. And for a limited time, GoCV card holders can purchase a 2020 season ticket for just £105. To bag your season ticket, head to coventrybears.com/membership and we'll see you at the next home game. Come on Bears! Before we leave you, let's take a quick look ahead to this Sunday's final pre-season game, which is a trip to West Yorkshire to face the Keighley Cougars. Craig, the Bears have a lot of history with Keighley. I mean, particularly those two games in 2018 spring to mind, where we went up there and we suffered a club record loss in the away match, and then a few weeks later, when they came down to Coventry, we beat them at home. We had 10 regular first teamers out, either injured or at the student Four Nations. It was our first ever win against a traditional northern side. So there is real. You see the Bears playing Keighley and it does stir something in most Bears fans. This is going to be a very different test to what we saw against the Broncos last Friday night. I would guess this is going to be a very physical game. What are you expecting? Because I know you made the trip to Cougar Park last season for the league game, and I went up the year before for the terrible one. It can be an intimidating place to go, and I know this is a pre-season friendly, so there's not as much on the line. But what do you reckon from this one for the Bears?
I think Cougars have really strengthened over the summer or over the off season ahead of the summer. They look really good. They played Dewsbury today and beat them. Dewsbury obviously a league above the Cougars. I know it's a pre-season game, but that's a very good result for them. As I said, they have signed a number of what I would say are reasonably high-profile players, and I think for the Bears, they played excellently against Broncos, but they did have a size advantage. That will be not something that they'll get against the Cougars. The Cougars will probably try and match them in the middle, so it'll be an interesting game to see. I know when the Bears went up last year there, they got out enthused by Cougars in the middle on what was a very muddy pitch, but the Bears really didn't play particularly well that day. So I'm really interested. This will be the big test. This will be the test of, this will be the one where players who are going to be playing a big part in the season will want to put a marker down. It's an opportunity for fringe players to show what they can do, because that will be a tough game, and one or two players unfortunately might get found out a little bit. I don't want to sound negative about it, but playing Keighley away is a tough game. So I hope everyone's up for it and everyone gives it a good go, and hopefully we'll get a decent result there that will bode well for the start of the season.
Yeah, and I think it's really useful. Like, part of me finds it a little odd that we're playing a pre-season friendly against a team that is in the same league as us, and we're going to play twice over the course of the season. But actually, when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. It is a really meaningful run out. Not that last Friday against the Broncos wasn't meaningful, because it absolutely was. But from that more of a sort of a battle-wizened opponent and going away from home as well. I'm like you. I'm really intrigued to see what sort of a showing the Bears put in. Who really steps up and takes the opportunity to lay a marker down and show Alan and Richard and the coaching team, like, yes, I should be in that team when the league starts in February against Rochdale. And actually pretty interested to see what sort of Cougars side we get as well, because they were hampered by their points deduction last year, so the league position from last year is slightly misleading. But as you say, they've signed some big names. I mean, Jake Webster is a real standout for me in the centres. He was playing Super League 2 seasons ago. Still a lot of quality in him, and he's come straight in as captain, I think, as well. And they were, of course,
they've got to be one of the favourites to win the league, I think.
Yeah, and they were nominated. They won Club of the Year in the official end of season awards as well. So there is a real buzz around that club again. So yeah, I think it's a really a really worthy test of the Bears, and it's nice to go into a game like that where you can just look at the performance and take the positives from it and take any learning points from it, because ultimately it is a pre-season game, so the result doesn't really matter. Obviously we'd like to see a Bears win because that's great for building confidence going into the season, but so much at this stage is about seeing who's doing what, who's putting their hand up, and if they can approach it with that same discipline and togetherness that we saw last Friday night, then if nothing else, it's going to make for a good game, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think it'll be a cracking game. I think I think both teams will want to give it a good go. I'm not sure how many other games Keighley have got, but with it being the Bears' final pre-season game, they'll be wanting to put a marker down. And I'm quite excited to see how it goes. If we take a beating, then that you learn as much from that as you do from a win. But either way, as I said, either way, the Bears will learn a lot from it. And I'm quite positive, actually. I think we'll do quite well. Judging on the London performance and the players, the quality that we've got in the Bears' spine now, I think we'll give them a good run, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Shock horror, you and I are positive about the Bears' prospects. Some things never change. Well, that is about it for this week's show. We will do our best to bring you some reaction and analysis from the Keighley match next week, and then we really start counting down to the start of the season. Just to give you a taster of what's coming up in the next few weeks, the draw for the round of the Challenge Cup that affects the Bears takes place on the 27th of January, and we'll then find out who we're playing in that second weekend of February, and then the league starts proper on the 16th of February. So do stick with us as we get into the start of the season and then go all the way through until September. Don't forget, you can find our show on coventrybears.com every week, or you can also subscribe and listen to us on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever else you get your podcasts, to be honest. And we're also in the process of sorting out putting these new episodes onto YouTube as well, so bear with us on that if you do prefer YouTube as your avenue of choice for getting podcasts. But anyway, 2020's here, the Bears are off to a winning start, long may it continue. Thanks to you for listening, and Craig, thanks as always for joining me, and I will speak to you soon.
Yes, cheers mate, thank you.